The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We're going to have as our guest today at the break, Stan Harley, Harley Stock Market Letter. We always like to have him on. Always has great information for us. We'll start out the show like we usually do. We're going to look at the German DAX, and as you can see here, over the past few days, we have been in a very strong market, very similar to what we've seen here in the U.S. If you take a look at the FTSE, it's also been strong, but it's in a really tight consolidation over the last several weeks, as you can see. Whether this breaks out to the upside or starts to go lower, we'll know by Monday probably, but there's not much to do there. The one thing, I'm going to change subjects here just a little bit, folks, because I got a very interesting photo in the mail yesterday, email, by the way, from one of our listeners who follows the Chinese market quite a bit, and he sent this picture to me, and I recognize the mountains behind there, folks, because I was there in 2005, but none of those big buildings were there in 2005 when I was there. This is Huailin, China, and this is all part of the, the Yangtze stuff, the Yangtze River and stuff. This is the flooding that's going on there. Folks, this is some of the most beautiful parts of China. I have to share this with you because it's really, I will never go there again. I'm pretty much been told that. So, I mean, not by the Chinese people, but the fact that it's getting pretty tough on a worldwide basis, and we don't want to travel very much. Anyway, let's move over here and take a quick look at this. You'll see here, this is basically a postcard thing of this area, but this is just something like out of a storybook, folks. It's just really amazing. These mountains, they have little towns built right along the side of the mountains where the people lived, and this going back hundreds and probably thousands of years ago. So it's an incredibly beautiful area. And people don't realize that the United States and China have the same geographical area. If you laid one over the other, they're almost exactly the same. And we have our Grand Canyon, and they have, these areas here that are very interesting. But it's very, very beautiful. And unfortunately, they're fighting with that. We're not fighting yet, but we'll probably. I don't think we're ever going to go into a battle with China. But I've been wrong a lot. But we're just, I just don't think that's going to happen. I've had a great deal of. Well, let's move on to the next one here, Larry. Let's talk about something that I know something about, which is very little. Let's move on here and take a look at these hogs, because we finally started to get this nice move out of here in the hogs. If you remember, we were talking about the hogs down there at that 48 level. We're now 5 handles, almost 6 handles higher. We had this really strong day yesterday. That's very important, folks, because that breakout should mean something, and we should go a minimum of another 5 to 8 points higher up to that 61% level, up around 58, 59 level in the hogs, and then we'll see, how that works. The cattle are getting strong too. We are going to have some food inflation down the road. The soybeans and corn have also started to move, so it's all important to watch these things. And it's also happening at a time when negotiations between China and the United States are doing badly, but they're still in there buying. I don't think that affects those things. That's basically rhetoric coming from both political sides, and that's pretty much what we're looking at. We'll see how these things work out. Fletch, you're saying that dam was poorly constructed. Let me tell you something about that dam. That the two of the 5 largest dams in the world are in China. The big one is the Three Gorges. I've been there to see that. I saw it in 2004. It was completed in 2002, I believe. It's 11 times bigger than Hoover Dam. I mean, it is so big you just can't believe it. And I don't think it was constructed poorly, but maybe it was. I don't know. When you get a lot of rain down in those areas, those rivers, I don't understand. But all I know is it's an incredible dam. Okay, let's move on here. The coffee started to move pretty good. Even cocoa started to move pretty good. We talked about those in the newsletter quite a bit. We even talked about the corn being down there near that really strong support that was there. The beans, I wanted them to go a little bit lower, and they disappointed me once again. They just took off, but I'll be watching to buy them on a little pullback here in the beans, because they've definitely started to move strongly in that direction. So we'll watch it closely also. Okay, now I wanted to share one other thing with you. This is that cryptocurrency that we've been following. We did that day trading thing back in May. I'm going to do another one on April the 5th. August the 5th, I'm going to do another full day trading from 9 till 2, and we're going to cover a couple of these cryptocurrencies that look really interesting because they're related to blockchain, and that's related to all the stuff that's going on in the world. See, if we get to blockchains, folks, this hacking and stuff is going to come to an abrupt end. At least that's what John Jameson has told me, because the blockchains are basically the internet squared, and that'll knock the ends of the spectrum off as far as people being able to hack into your accounts and do stuff like that. But here again, a tiny bit over my pay grade. I have a chart here that is very interesting for several different reasons. This was sent to us by one of our listeners here at TFNN back in the Midwest. Now, this is, if you'll notice here, this is the chart of the Australian dollar, and you'll see that the head and shoulders pattern that he's kindly drawn out there, you see it's very, very symmetrical. That started down, which is good. That's what it's supposed to be doing. But the key to this chart, folks, is two things. One is the color background. When I went to work for Commodity Corporation back in 1985, these computers were just coming out, and, we could select, whatever colors we wanted. And of course, the Commodity Corp, they had their own technical people, and they had people that specialized in colors and stuff like that. And the one thing they really, really warned against was using a black screen, that was not good. So I've always done that. So that's one of the things that I see on here. The other thing is a few too many oscillators. Oscillators are good if you know how to use them. And some of the folks here at TFNN are certainly expert. We know that Basil does it well. So does Steve Rhodes, and also the O'Brien clan. And so, it's important to watch it. And also David White does it. So anyway, if you know how to use oscillator, it's really good. But the main thing about this is using the color. The color is the thing. You don't use a black color. Use something very light, off-white or egg color, something like that as a background. Nothing really dark like this. This is not good. And that's always followed that. And here I'm at the 8th furlong pole. Oh, I have to tell you about the doctor's appointment yesterday. You're going to get a really good bit of information tomorrow, actually today, on the doctor's appointment. 877-927-6648.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, Taz understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the Taz Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I went in for my semi-annual physical, January and July, and seeing my usual doctor, who happens to be a very good friend. And as I went to visit him, I was waiting to see him come through the door, and when he did, I almost fainted. He was dressed, folks, in a hazmat suit. He was all in white. He had a plastic helmet on, and inside the plastic helmet was a mask. And I asked him, I said, Dr. B, I said, it's kind of taking pretty good precautions there, huh? And he said, well, and he had this file with him, and it was a CDC file. And he said, if I don't follow these directions, he said, I'm not going to get paid. And I said, well, I would follow the directions. You know, that's it. No, I wasn't there for testing of COVD and nothing like that. I was there just for my usual physical. I try to take, relatively good care of myself, considering that I'm a tad overweight. But anyway, I asked him, I said, how many patients, and he's got a huge practice, folks. And when I walked into the office yesterday, I had to be had my temperature taken. There were no chairs other than 3 chairs in the office waiting room area. Usually there's 35 or 40. There's 3 doctors there. And they were all working, but he said, my patients are just afraid to come in. I said, well, when they see you dressed like this, it looks like something out of Ancient Aliens. And he said, the CDC is telling me that I must dress like this, or I'm not going to be paid. I don't know how that stuff works, but anyway, he was telling me. I said, how many patients have you lost? And he's got a huge practice. And he's lost 1 patient, and that patient was a very healthy 54-year-old ex-baseball player. And unfortunately, they found that on autopsy that he had a severe heart problem that was hidden, and no one knew it, and that the virus helped, kill him for that. So that's pretty much what he said. He said the file that he had there from the CDC is what they're worried about is a second coming of this virus. It's going to be something like the Adrenoma strain. You're right, Mr. Z, where it's going to be a little bit more virulent, but that hasn't been proved yet. But he said that's what they're trying to prevent, looking at it. But he's only lost one patient in all that time. He's had a total of 3 cases. The one person that died and the 2 other cases, and both of those cases were debilitated patients in their late 80s that made it through. They did not die. They had to be on ventilators, but they made it through. So he was relatively, not relatively, he was very concerned. And so I think I just share that with you. And I watch a little bit of the news to try to find out, some of these reports and stuff. But, some of the stuff that you see out there, you don't know. Hong Kong is starting to get a little bit of a problem, too. Remember, there's only been about 6 people die in Hong Kong in the last 8 or 9 months of this. So they've been pretty well under control. But they all wear their masks. They all do social distancing. The restaurants will only take 4 people, and only they're 50% open. So they are watching it very, very closely. So I just let you know that Dr. B was a little bit concerned about what was happening. So we'll keep that in mind for whatever it's worth. The E-mini S&P, and that is a question of where is it going to be with the S&P. Folks, I don't know. I will tell you this. I think I'm looking for something. This is from my friend Larry Williams. Larry does some of the very best work in the business, and here's his S&P forecast for this year. You'll notice at the bottom there on March the 23rd was pretty much spot on, and he's looking for a high up there on 7/28. Happens to be Ralph Elliott's birthday, and he's looking for it to go down into none other than 9/11. One of our most famous telephone numbers and dates in our history here. Probably will take the statues of 9/11 down pretty soon, would be my guess, but we'll do one of those votes as it comes up. Okay, now that's pretty much what we're looking at here this morning. One of the questions someone's asking me about the beans and the meal and stuff. The meal, we were looking for meal to get down to that double bottom down there. It held very nicely. It's had a really good move, but we have not been able to. We were short the soybeans, which was a really good trade. I mean, it made over 26 cents in it, but when it turned, it never gave us a chance because we were looking to buy it at the 78% level, and it missed it by about 5 cents, and it just took off. So there's nothing else. You have to wait and see what the next pattern is going to be, so you have to just be patient. You can't be in everything all the time, so that's it. Another question we're having what's the number for 9/11? Very good, Duffy. Okay, let's move on here to talk just a little bit about the wheat market. Sold off quite a bit yesterday. So the thing that's important here, folks, is that the exports are starting to move for the first time in a while. We're getting rid of these massive quantities that we have in beans and corn and stuff. Now, 9 months from now, when we're talking about this, we're not going to be talking about surpluses. We're going to be talking about, deficiencies and the fact that we need more grain and stuff like that. Folks, we're only 1 year away from famine in the world, because if we had a really bad crop where we would lost, 40 or 50% of our crop, which we haven't had happen in many, many, many years. But if we were to see that happen, it would cause problems in the world beyond your wildest dreams. If you think people get upset about the price of crude oil, you let them know how upset they get when they can't eat. So that's a main thing to keep in mind, that these things are going to change, and we're starting to see these things starting to change now. So we want to pay close attention to it. I covered that in the 24/7 newsletter. I've focused on those support levels in corn and wheat and stuff this past week. I don't give recommendations on those. I expect the people to use their own judgment on where to buy. I show the patterns and the ratios, but you have to decide, where you want to get in. That's the main thing of what the system is for, is to look at the patterns that look the best. Let's just go here, and I wanted to show you the the wheat pattern, because we were looking for this wheat market to sell off quite a bit, because we had a perfect 135 pattern, and we backed all the way down. We're down well over 30 cents off that high, and that means that it's probably getting an area of major support here in the wheat. So we want to watch that very closely. But that was a perfect 135 pattern in the wheat, and it lined up just as nicely as possible. As I mentioned before, we have our friend Stan Harley as our guest coming up at the break. He's going to talk to us about his cycle work that he's looking at. And as you know, Stan has been a highly decorated veteran from the market timing. He's always in the top 10. Sometimes he's 2, 3, 1. Who knows? But he's always in the top 10, as many of our guests are. And of course, Steve Rhodes holds the all-time record here. I think it's 2 years in a row he's been number 1, and we have to give our hats off to Steve Rhodes, because he's done a super job at this thing. So we'll look at that. Okay. When has he been predicting a drop? Duffy, we are going to ask him in just a few minutes. We're going to ask Stan Harley, 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have Stan Harley of the Harley Stock Market Letter on the line. Stan, are you there?
Good morning, Larry. I am indeed.
Good morning. I see this first chart has my waist size up here, 40, 42, 42, 40. What is this, Stan? Are you trying to tell me to go on a diet? Go ahead. Hey,
I heard about your trip to the doctor. I did the same thing. So, we got to get those physicals done, get the labs done, make sure all the parts are in place and nothing's running afoul on the inside.
Was the office crowded? Was it how was the office situation?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, good. All right. Well,
new world here, new normal, as they say. Larry, just as a backdrop, as we've talked in the past, it's my view that we are building a topping evolution, and tops tend to be evolutionary events. They're not singular like bottoms, which tend to be one and done. Sometimes a retest, sometimes not. But tops tend to span several months. I track what I call the Big Five, and that is I want to look at the S&P 500, the Dow Industrials, the Dow Transports, the New York Composite, and the NASDAQ Composite. I refer to those as the Big Five. And as the market tops over a period of months, I'll see fewer and fewer of those Big Five components making new highs. And when the final one tops out, then that's it. And that's what happened in 2015. That's what happened in 2007 and 2000. So here we are again in 2020. And I think probably the Dow Transports topped out in 2018. The New York Composite probably topped in January of this year. The Dow probably peaked in Feb. S&P, NAS, those are the two remaining components of the Big Five. And, of course, the NAS is making new highs on about a daily basis. And whether the S&P will or not, we shall see. But here's a chart of the S&P 500. And with that as a backdrop, what I've done is I've labeled what I call trading cycle lows. And the dominant trading cycle in the stock market averages right at 40 trading days. Although if you looked at a chart, you probably would not see bottom to bottom 40 trading days. It's either a little above or a little below. But when you look at about 10 iterations or so, you'll find the average falls in right around 40 trading days. And indeed, this chart shows that quite clearly. Sometimes it's as short as 35. Sometimes it goes up to 45, 46. But the average over the long haul is right at 40. Mm-hmm. Now, in the short term, we're in a trading range. It's pretty much bounded by the high back on June the 8th. We are just below it right now. I think we're very close to breaking out above it. But, Larry, my work suggests we got about another month here, and then I think this thing probably could be finished. So I'm looking for the S&P to go up and challenge the Feb 19th high. Whether it takes it out or not is not the issue for me. I'm just looking for the final index to top out, and that's the NASDAQ. And if we get that high in about 3.5 weeks, I think that'll probably cap this thing off. And I've got a lot of work that suggests we should have a real important low around the end of October. And then we shall see.
You've got a date up. Yeah, you've got a date up here of August the 13th. Is that correct? And you're looking for. Okay.
I do.
And you're looking for an October.
Right, yeah, based on Fibonacci and Lucas counts from past highs and lows. I've got a phenomenal clustering either side of August 13th. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to chug lug higher into about the 13th of August, plus or minus, Larry. That's how it looks to me.
Well, we're certainly having incredible volatility, and the way that the market is trading against the news is something like I've never seen before, and I've seen a lot of things over the past 60 years, but my goodness, it doesn't make any difference whether the news is bullish or bearish. The market wants to go higher, and so it's really hard to fight it because it doesn't make any difference. I guess it's related to the Federal Reserve pumping money in, but here again, I don't even know, so...
Well, and you just made the greatest argument for technical analysis. That is, don't pay attention to the fundamentals. They'll just mess your head up. Just look at the charts, look at some indicators, look at cycles, look at some of the things that you talk about in this program a lot, and I think you'll be dollars ahead in the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, now the next one that you've got to show us is this NASDAQ composite, and that has been the big daddy rabbit. That thing is, as everybody knows, has just been absolutely incredible on the upside. So what are you looking at here, Stan?
Well, the NAS, in the last 7-year top, by the way, in 2015, the NASDAQ composite was the last index among the big five to top out. Back in 2015, the New York comp, the Dow, and the S&P topped in May, and as you and I talked about back in June, and I showed a chart of this, the NASDAQ didn't top for another 2 months. It topped out in July. There we go. So I think you've got a similar toppling evolution right now going on. That is, the NASDAQ will be the final component among the big five to make all-time highs. And this is a very normal, I_normal topping evolution, where you see one final major index making new highs unconfirmed by any other index. And that's divergence. And that's what technicians like you and I look for. And this thing is, it's on steroids, but it's doing what things should do in terms of topping evolutions in my book.
We've got a question from one of our listeners, Stan, regarding technical analysis, and the question is, do you consider any of the fundamental news that comes out during the day about Twitter or any of the other things that, like we've had a lot in Twitter the last day or so, anything like that affect your opinion on what the market is doing?
No, Larry. I'm a pure technician. I mean, I watch the news. I've got the financial media on the television with the volume down low, and of course I watch TFNN. But no, I'm a pure technician, 100% technician.
Wow, that's good. Okay, now the next one that you got is one of my favorites, and that is the New York Stock Exchange Composite. That used to be the name for the knife, but we don't trade the knife anymore. But this is one of my favorite charts, and you can see that this is certainly in a downtrend, isn't it?
The New York Composite, of course, is the broadest measure of market behavior. It measures all of the stocks traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And that index has probably already peaked and is not making a new high. And that should be telling us something about how the topping evolution is panning out. The knife. I used to trade the knife, too. I remember that 5 years ago. That thing is long gone. But as you can see, the New York comp is bounded between the 200-day moving average there in red, and you've got the 50-day moving average in blue down below. And it's trapped in that band, and I do not see the New York comp going to new highs in the next month or so. I think it's probably completed its top for the current cycle.
Hold on, we've got one other question that someone wants to ask. To ask him again, what is your life's work? What were you doing before you were doing market analysis? I think you were finishing that last 3 years at Leavenworth, weren't you, Stan? I mean, no, I'm just joking. I shouldn't joke about that because one of these days I'm going to be right. I've known you 45 years. You're an engineer, aren't you?
Yeah, I was in aerospace. I worked at Northrop Grumman Corporation for many years prior to getting into the financial markets.
Hey, stay with us. We have one other question. Stan Harley, the Harley Stock Market Letter. We'll be right back, folks.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, we're back, folks, talking with Stan Harley, the Harley Stock Market Letter. Stan, as I recall, and I'm going to back about 55 years, believe it or not, didn't we meet around 1974, 1975, or was it even earlier than that?
Yeah, back in L.A. when you and I were in Southern California.
Sure.
I think it was a little later than that. And I was the president of the market analysts of Southern California. For
we used to have those
meetings.
And
we had those. I had you come out and speak to our group, and I think I arranged to have. Didn't I get you on television in L.A. On Channel 22?
Yeah, that's how I got started, and I met Bill Griffith and Sue Herrera, Ron Ansana, and Ed Hart, and I became a regular on that show later on when I started, when I went back to the floor and stuff. But the main thing that I remember is we had Joe DiNapoli used to hang out with us too. He was coming to those meetings, wasn't he?
Joe DiNapoli.
Yeah, wow. Yes. Yeah, sure.
Did
I remember.
To Thailand.
Yeah, he's still in Thailand. He and Patty are there, and he's still doing the same thing, trading his 30-second oscillator or whatever it is. He trades on a 1 minute chart, and in the middle of the night, I don't know how he does it, but he's always enjoyed doing that. So I remember I gave Joe his first proportional divider. I think it was 72 or 73, 1972, 1973. This was long before they were even talking about Fibonacci, but that's neither here nor there. I remember those meetings quite vividly because we had some Sherwin McClellan would come in, and his wife. I think his wife was Charlene, wasn't it at that time? Do you remember?
No,
I think that's Mary. Okay, but I remember him being there, and it was those are the old days, I guess, is what they look at. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for joining us today. Please be safe up there, my friend. Are you having any monsoons yet? We've had 2 down here so far this year, but the range is getting ready to start anyway, which will cool everything down.
Yeah, not yet. Where I'm in Scottsdale, which is northeast Phoenix for our listeners. And Arizona tends to get monsoons starting about this time of year, which cools things off, which would be nice because we've been in the teens just about every day here for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat, as they say.
You're a little cooler down there in Tucson. You're higher than we are up here in Phoenix.
Yes. Yeah, I'm right in the foothills, too. Listen, thanks for joining us, my friend, and we'll have you on sometime in August when maybe these markets are starting to top around the 13th. In fact, I'm going to pencil in around the 12th or 13th of August, so maybe we can get you in here to see if we're pretty much spot on what we're looking for.
Look for it. Don't shoot me if I got that one
Stan, we ran out of bullets so long ago that you don't have no worries about that. Believe me, I eat a lot of salad because they throw stale vegetables at me here at TFNN. So I'm still okay.
Hey, just remember the words of W.D. Gann. He said, "The man who refuses to change his mind will soon have no change to mind."
Oh, I like that one. That's a good. That guy was pretty smart. That's for sure. Hey, listen, thanks for joining us, buddy, and we'll have you on sometime. Well, I'm going to schedule you for August the 12th, so pencil that in for me, okay?
Will do.
Okay, that's good. Stan Harley of the Harley Stock Market Letter, folks. Let's update here, see what we're looking at here this morning. We got the old Stop and P is trading at 32.11. High's been, I believe, 32.16. We got the gold trading at 18.08. The high so far has been 18.12. And I think we're going to be, topping in the gold sometime around 10:30, if that's the right thing to look at. So we'll keep a close eye on that one also. The natural gas, folks. This natural gas, we got to pay. Oh shucks, I lost the. This is what happened when you fail to prepare. I wanted to get this thing up one more time about natural gas because they didn't. They keep posting it, and I wanted to show you because they're warning people about natural gas going negative. Now, I don't trust the news and stuff, but the fact that they're telling us we got to pay attention to that, and it's not acting that well. It looks like the natural gas wants to get down to that 169 level one more time. We would have a nice 78% level, but we'll keep an eye on that too because it's got a chance to be bullish, but right now it hasn't really done that. That's the whole key to watching some of these things, that you've got to be able to, draw a line somewhere in the sand that says, by golly, you just can't get in to see what's going on here. Okay. Anyway, someone's asked a question about Stan. He is a super guy. He's got a great letter. It's one of the higher ranked ones at Timer Digest, and he's been doing it a very long time, and he is a really nice fellow. And fact is, I probably wouldn't recognize him because it's been a long time since I've seen him, but I used to talk to him all the time. We used to go to those meetings, and that's how we learned some of this stuff, folks, because we did back in the 70s. I think it was probably sometime in 75 or after 75 that I got involved with him because I was at Drexel from 76 to 82, and that's where those meetings started. And then I would go over and I met, Sue Herrera was dating my best friend, who was Jay Crosp, and Twentyman and I all hung out together. So I used to see Sue all the time. And Bill Griffith was super nice, and we had Ed Hart was there, and John Bollinger was there for a stint too. So there were a bunch, but the problem was it was being funded by Merrill Lynch and Glenn Taylor, and Glenn Taylor was Sue Herrera's ex-boyfriend, and the problem is that Merrill Lynch was not going to fund it anymore. So later on, this was back into the right around 1990 when they were actually going to wrap it up and stop the KWHY there in Los Angeles. Sue Herrera went to New York and made a proposal to NBC, and from that proposal it became CNBC. And she and Bill Griffith and Ron Insana started the whole thing, and that was 20-some years ago. But that's it. Ed Hart he was a super nice guy. Basil just posted something about him, but he was a reporter for the LA Times, and he really was a really, really nice guy. Everybody there was nice. There was just a few people that, we had a few there. The guy that ran the whole thing was Glenn Taylor until Sue took over, but they would have this radio. The radio show was Timing the Market with I think that's what it was called, with Gene Morgan. And it was Gene Morgan, Timing the Market. He would be on between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock every day, going over all of the markets, the commodity markets and stuff, and the stock markets too. And it was really a big, heavily watch show, but the problem was Merrill Lynch wanted out of it, and of course they did it at the absolute wrong time, as they usually do, because that's when the markets were really getting ready to explode, was in the early 80s, and of course that went into 87, and I remember being on the show in August of 87 and predicting a high, and I remember telling Bill Griffith that sometime in October the Dow Jones would be down more than 300 points in one day, and he asked me how I knew that, and I said, well, the biggest drop we'd had so far was 198 points. I multiplied that out times 1.618 right there on the show, and I said we should be down more than 300, and of course we gapped down 300 on the 19th of October, and we did go a little bit lower than that. So those are memories. My goodness, it seems like yeah, Ed Hart was really great. Thanks for reminding me of that, Basil. I forgot that quote, but he was a super guy. I had many meals with him. 877-927-6648. Stay tuned for the wrap-up.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that will take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab. Bam!
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. I posted the chart of the NASDAQ. That's been the big, the leader of this whole thing. You'll notice here that we just completed a 61% retracement of the high we made yesterday. Came in at 10,000, can't believe these numbers, 10,660. And if we get above that, then we're looking at something a little bit more to the upside. But right now, that should hold the market for at least this early part of the trading session. So watch that number, 10,660, and also keep an eye on 3222 in the S&P. That should be some stiff resistance in the S&P. Also, we're going to be up into Friday of an up week, most probably. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that, but if it does close higher today, that would continue the situation where you've had, I think, 11 out of the 12 days in the NASDAQ have been up. That is an outlier event that we have not seen in many, many years, usually indicative of some type of a blow-off high. I've had several questions about Tesla. Don't know anything about it other than it manufactures artificial intelligence for automobiles and occasionally produces a car. We got as high as $17.95. Now we dropped $300 a share. We're now rallying back into that 1580 or whatever it is. I think the 382 on that is around 1580 in Tesla. So I would be watching for some resistance in Tesla at that level should we get it. Let me double check to see where Mr. Tesla is trading here this morning, and that might give us a better idea if I can even find it, and I don't know whether we will or not, so hold on just a second here, and here it is, and let's just see if we have it up and running here. Yeah, we are running. We've been as high as 1550 early this morning, and I think the number that you're looking at is about 15, I think it's around 1580, and the high so far has been just around 1550. We're trading around 1512 today. We had a high of 1540 right after the opening, so has a slight downward bias now in Tesla for the rest of the morning would be my guess. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.